December the 24th, the day of Christmas Eve. And this is my yoga practice. Getting started, a quick forward fold. Just enough to get any kinks or pops out of the neck. There we go. Got some stuff out of the neck and the low back. There we go, a little pop out of the low back. Alright, and next up, get the timer started. A little bit different. I think I'm going to start off with a downward facing dog. Hold those for a little bit. Relax and hold the pose. But even though I'm doing a downward facing dog, I'm trying to curve the spine a little bit. Well, there's a lot going on with downward dog, right? Because there's the hamstrings, right? So then there's also the calves a little bit. So that's kind of rotating the pelvis. I guess it's a posterior rotation of the pelvis, right? Just trying to straighten out the pelvis and the legs. Whereas, in order to stretch that, right, I'm trying to do an anterior stretch or a rotation of the pelvis, trying to rotate the pelvis forward a little more. And relax. Let the head dangle. Actually got quite a bit of force in the palms. It's a good thing there's lots of friction with the carpet. Yeah, the hands have just enough perspiration to have some good friction with the carpet. And now I'm feeling the shoulders a little bit. Feel those light up. There is effort in the shoulders required for downward facing dog. And I'm trying to do a posterior flex on the spine to kind of straighten out and then arch it, that posterior arch. But that's kind of limited by the hamstrings and the calves. Good. I got a lot of room for growth on my down dog. For another 17 seconds. Alright, so clear that out. Clear out the timer. Start up the next pose, and we transition nice and gentle into upward facing dog. Felt a little interesting. The wrists weren't used to that transition, even though I do upward facing dog quite often. And the low back isn't set yet. Which is interesting because I just did a down dog, apparently seems to really not help the low back get into place. So let the low back slide into position, slowly, gently. Now your nervous system will tell you, right? Those nerves in the low back, they tell you when everything's in place by the amount of sensation that you feel. So that took about a minute for the low back. Or get into the pose, right? 20 seconds for that. So another 40 seconds.
focusing on the low back to get it into position. So that's interesting. I feel the right wrist a little bit when I wiggle the right wrist that I don't usually feel. So that down dog makes quite a difference. Continue to breathe. Breathe through the nose as best as you can. Relax and enjoy the pose. Yeah, definitely feeling that right wrist a little bit. Another 42 seconds. Keep breathing. Feel the breath slide in and out. Yeah, the low back sensation is really kind of been attenuated. Most sensations on the forearms right now. And that's that. Balance out both sides. Alright, so that's kind of it's a very good pose to get the back ready for a back bend. So now we'll do the back bend. Wheel pose. I really like using up dog as a primer for wheel pose because it gets the low back into a good spot. Alright, and then push that up. And get the timer into a better spot. There we go. It's 2.5 minutes. Relax. Yeah, the shoulders, man, they are just not ready for this pose. There's something going on, right? There's just not enough strength or endurance, it feels like. It's like as soon as I get in here, the shoulders are basically ready to be done. But that's a combination of the fact that I gotta stretch, right? Basically, it feels like I'm stretching my armpits, right? That's where I feel the stretch. So I'm stretching the shoulder, the front side of the shoulder, stretching the abs, stretching that front side of the body, which is preventing my elbows from locking, which means I have to put more effort since I can't lock the elbows. When I try to lock the elbows, that takes even more effort. So there's apparently a lot going on. My body's just not ready for it yet. And that's all we got for today. For that guy. Yeah, that's all arms and shoulders. You need to get prepared for that. This camel pose focuses mainly on the abs, right? Because it's basically all abs doing the support here. Yeah, and the hands. Right, you can use the hands on the back of the thigh to prevent the abs from having to provide as much effort. So you can feel that anterior flex on the spine. Swallow. There we go. Feel that. Yeah, really feel the anterior neck stretch. Right? Or posterior, right? This posterior flex. It's Scratch what I just said. This is posterior. Flex everything towards the back. So the posterior stretch on the neck, so you really feel the throat stretch. And that's that. Back to hero's pose. Let's chill out. Alright. Next up, forward fold. Longer forward fold. Let's get this up. We've just done all of this posterior back stretching. Now we're going to do some anterior back stretching. Or flexing. And very slowly decompress the spine. So I'm still grabbing my shins. So I can gently get the body into position. Ankles, heels, balls of the feet together. Straighten the legs, hands under the feet. And it's just that simple. Not so much. Plus, when you put your hands under the feet, it's a much different balancing algorithm for your body. You've got the front of your feet on your squishy hands, which don't provide as much control as, say, your heels, which are pressing into the earth. So as much as you want to use the heels more, the heels have less surface area. So, totally changes your balancing algorithm. You can't just use the entire foot in the same way as you would if your entire foot was on the floor. And keep those ankles together. Relax the lower back to allow the pelvis to rotate forward. Continue to breathe. Check the timer for 4 seconds. Relax the arms. You might even pull the arms a little bit. Oddly enough, that was a sensation of my right thumb that I had to pull out. Let the pelvis rotate some more. And relax. Yeah, this qualifies as pulsing the muscles, right? Move the shoulders around a little bit, feel some space, and relax. Keep the legs straight if you can, if your hamstrings are open enough for that. And that's that. There's really a lot going on with that. Alright, so that's that. Now, hip openers. Right, so that's foot behind the head practice. What? Yeah. So, look like first. There we go. I figured out yesterday there's actually kind of 2 ways to do this. Alright, so what I've been doing it is I bring the knee to the earth, the top of the knee to the earth, then kind of try and fold this over. That stretches your hip, one way. Another way to do this is when you've got really open hips, like this. Just grab the foot and start to bring it back. That puts all these muscles in a different spot. Yeah, in fact, so when you start off like this and start to pull back, be incredibly careful. Don't do this if you don't know your body.
because I felt, there's a shift that happened right there in order to get this further back. So starting from a slightly different place, but now is this sustainable is the question. Yeah, it's not so present. Oh, look at that. That's a foot right out of the head. But in order to keep it there, right, I cross my arms behind my head to help keep the foot there. Because what happens is the hip joint acts like a spring trying to pull the leg down. As you pull the leg down and you've got it behind the head, the spine, the neck, the vertebrae have to arch forward, as you can see. Another minute. So now just relax. Yeah, and so use the right foot for balance. Use the right foot to, go onto the knee or rotate open. Keep it like this. And this is the left side, right? Which for me is normally the side that is less flexible. And yeah, feeling a nice stretch on the hip here. And it's also enough of a stretch, right, that my left foot's starting to fall asleep. Because I'm holding this for so long. Relax. And that's that. And be incredibly careful. Even if you're just watching, be incredibly careful, right? He's just had a major stretch on that hip and cut off blood flow, or at least made blood flow incredibly hard. And the other side. So again, what I've been doing recently is get the knee into the earth and then try to roll around. Today a little bit different. Just open the hip, like I'm doing the lotus pose, right? So my hip's already incredibly open. Bring this up, then you'll feel the muscles slide over the bone. That's what that feels like. And just, kind of get that foot behind the head as best as you can. Yeah, so interesting. This side definitely feels different because I've got the right knee on the earth, which I didn't have on the other side. Yeah, for whatever reason, I don't know. But I've got I've got the foot behind the head. I've got the ankle just on the outside of the back of the head. So the ankle's not pressing into the back of the head. The shin is actually pressing into the back of the head. The ankle would probably not feel good. Now I'm starting to feel a stretch on the hip. And I can feel that muscle, right? So there's a muscle here. There's a stretch on it. But then, like when you do super advanced stretches, right? There's a point when you're able to do the super advanced stretches, right? Your muscles will tighten up during the day, right? And then when you get into that super advanced stretch or enhanced position, you feel the muscles start to loosen. And so that just happened. And relax. And there's still a pretty intense stretch on that right hip. Right there on the right hip. Hey, maybe after a week of doing this, I'll get both feet behind the head, right? Hey, we'll see. That's kind of the goal. If you get both feet behind the head, then the next thing you do after that is you get both hands behind the back.
which is pretty cool. Which I've been able to do before at other times, but I don't think I can quite do that right now. And so this is the setup. Get those legs nice and loose. Relax and be patient. Time will be done soon enough. Like now. And again, be incredibly careful, even if you're just watching. So you gotta let those muscles reactivate. I should have pulsed the muscles while I was in pose. So you pulse the muscles in pose, that really allows you to find some good space. Alright, so now hamstring stretch. Left leg first. There we go. So reach towards that left leg. And my back is kind of the limit. Little pelvis right there, getting into position. And take note of the man parts. See if they're in a good enough spot. I think they need some adjustment. There we go. Better. We feel that upper thigh, the pelvis area. Allow the left shoulder to reach towards the earth. Left hand over the right hamstring. Right hand goes further outside the foot. You put the head on the earth, but I want to reseat that. The left pelvis, that didn't feel right. There we go. That feels better. And you've got all your support muscles helping you to get into the pose. And then the goal is to start to relax those support muscles. Like that. And relax. Equal parts inhale and exhale. 9 seconds left. Feel the pose. Yeah, pulse the muscles a little bit. Oh. Be careful when you do that. Find some space. So we want to slowly, gingerly pulse the muscles, move things around just a hair. See if there's any movement left. Subtle enhancement to the pose. Yeah, it feels like I need to open my legs a little more. Oh, but be careful. That left hamstring. No. I started moving my right leg open a little more, and the left hamstring started to complain. Because the left hamstring is really getting shoved into the floor right here. There's a lot of weight. So it's getting stretched and it's getting pressed into the floor. So, yeah, as I was wiggling my right foot to get the leg open, that made my left hamstring increase its sensation to the point where it needed some help. Again, get everything in the right spot. Right side, look at that right foot, grab that right foot. Yeah, for some reason on the left side, on the very top of the pelvis, right where the vertebrae hit the pelvis, stretching over towards the left leg, I feel that. On the right hand side, I don't feel any, I don't feel that sensation, which I feel going down on my left side. And then
Yeah, as I get further down, as I just said, the hamstring is getting pushed into the earth. So that's why I want to lift up a little bit, just so I can get the hamstring into a good spot. And relax. And especially take care on the rib cage. For me, it seems to be a little bit sensitive lately. So it's actually kind of the limiting factor is that left side of the body, the left rib cage. And oddly enough, it's the bottom of the left rib cage, right? Those bottom floating ribs. Or the tissue that's around that part. But just like anything else, just feel the sensation. And relax. Yeah, lots of sensation on the right thigh. Yeah, which is really interesting, right? Because as I said, not only is that thigh getting stretched, right? Not only is the hamstring getting stretched, but that's where a lot of the weight is on the body, pressing into the floor. So you're stretching the muscle and you're pressing it into the floor at the same time, which I guess enhances the stretch. But you got to be careful, right? Because the floor pushes back straight into the muscle. It's not just your normal muscle stretch. And that's it for that side. All right. Next up. Hey, look at that. Got some people watching. Is splits practice. So scoot back just a hair. Roll those forward. Get the man parts out of the way. And there we go. Yeah, look at that spread eagle. Yeah, and this is, since I've done this enough, right? This is a nice relaxing pose for me, and it's pretty easy to pulse the muscles. There's not much concern of pulsing the muscles and something that's not good happening. Whereas if you're not practiced in a pose and you're not super advanced in that pose, right? Me and other poses, right? With the foot behind the head, right? Trying to pulse the muscles there. That could get something into a bad spot, right? So that's when you have to very slowly pulse the muscles, especially on a new pose that you're working. You always want to do it slowly, but you really got to take care on a new pose to make sure that when you pulse the muscles, that only good things happen. And relax. Let the breath slide in and out of the body. Feel the sensations in the body. Definitely those inner thighs. Right, so even though I practice this every day, right, I still feel sensation on the inner thighs. Because I don't hold this pose all day long, right? I get in the car, I walk, do all that stuff. And in order to do all that, you gotta keep the legs close together for another 26 seconds. No sensation in my right hand, like the thumb side, almost like it's falling asleep. It's not falling asleep. It's like just the nerves are falling asleep. So that's interesting. Dismiss that, get that started for final practice, which is handstand. Oh yeah, awesome stuff, handstand. Need a moment to recuperate. Let the blood flow back to the legs, let the body get back into alignment. Yeah, mental alignment, right? Get mentally ready. Alright, so there we go. Fingers forward, that hurts my wrists. So I have my fingers to the side, a little less than 90 degrees apart. Hands nice and open. Transfer the weight onto the hands. Get this up into the starter pose. And you know what? Let's start the yogi squat. So, yogi squat position, right? There we go. Get the hands out. And careful, careful. Transfer weight into the hands. You can start off with the crow pose. Great beginner pose. When you're ready, lift those hips up. Careful on the weight transfer. Because the weight will shift forward. The weight has to shift forward. And it shifts too far forward, you fall down. Something like that, right? Come on. There we go. And hold it, maybe. Come on. Keep some control. Not today. Alright, maybe that downward dog I started the practice with kind of sapped some of the hand strength. Alright. Shall we do a headstand? Yeah, let's do a headstand. But don't do it if you don't know how and if you're not comfortable. Great way to start is kind of from that wide splits, right? Tripod, my favorite, because it gives you the most control over what's happening. But I want to cross things, so I want to cross the fingertips and I want to cross the legs. There we go. How about that for an inverted lotus? Yeah, only another 20 seconds or so. You gotta be real careful in the headstand. Pay attention to the neck. Keep everything in alignment. Let's flip the legs, because it's just that easy. And that's the timer, that's it. And how do we artfully get out of this? Let's see if we can bring the knees to the elbows. Have to be really careful with headstand practice. Alright, so that was some 8 a.m. yoga with my personal practice a little bit and some personal commentary. Thanks everyone for showing up. Hope you all have a great, fun, fantastic rest of the day.